Today on MUFC Pulse, we'll dive into some incredibly intriguing news. Two Croatian attackers in the crosshairs, and bad news for Ipswich Town ahead of their trip to Old Trafford. For more on this story, check out the video. We also have some equally exciting football news coming up, so stay tuned until the end to catch it all. Welcome to MUFC Pulse. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell for more updates. Two Croatian attackers on the radar. Two Croatian attackers have emerged as target options for Manchester United as they look to bolster their forward line. The club is currently pursuing SC Freiburg's 23-year-old striker, Igor Matanovic, to add depth up front. The forward's physical presence and goal-scoring instincts are viewed as ideal qualities to cope with the demands of Premier League football. Old Trafford Chiefs are keen to secure his services to offer greater tactical variety in attack. While his current market valuation sits closer to £19 million, Freiburg are holding out for a fee in the region of £42 million to part with the player. Martin Baturina has also emerged as a serious target for the Red Devils. The Croatian talent, currently playing in Italy with Como, offers impressive versatility across the final third. Baturina is equally comfortable operating as a central attacking midfielder, out wide on either wing, or slotted in behind the main striker. Baturina's current market value has rocketed to around £38 million. Spotting the massive potential, Como are likely to dig their heels in and hold out for an offer closer to £42 million before even considering letting him go. Negotiations for the Croatian duo are expected to prove tough, with both clubs placing high valuations on their players. Nevertheless, United's recruitment team is keeping close tabs on both prospects to secure the best possible terms ahead of the transfer deadline. Bringing in either player, or indeed both, would provide a fresh dynamic and much-needed depth to the squad's attacking options. Bad news for Ipswich Town ahead of Old Trafford visit. Manchester United are gearing up to host Ipswich Town at Old Trafford on match day 2 of the 2026-2027 Premier League season. The last meeting between the two clubs took place in February 2025, when Manchester United managed to scrape a narrow victory at Old Trafford. Ipswich currently sits 7th in the table with 3 points to their name. They kicked off their campaign with a 2-1 win over Sunderland at Portman Road, followed by a 3-1 victory against Leicester City in the EFL Cup. Having failed to pick up any points against Hull City, this fixture represents a vital opportunity for United to secure all 3 points in front of their home support. Speaking after the Hull City match, Bruno Fernandes expressed his disappointment over dropping crucial points, stressing that the team are already 3 points behind where they ought to be. However, Bruno immediately turned his attention to Sunday's upcoming home fixture, which he highlighted as extremely important. The match will mark their first outing in front of the home crowd following the summer break. Bruno is determined to lift the team's performance, iron out the mistakes from the previous game, and deliver a proper 3-point victory for the supporters who have been eagerly awaiting their return. Over in the opposite corner, a stark contrast hangs over the visiting side as they look to build on their positive start to the campaign. The daunting atmosphere of Old Trafford is bound to prove a stern test, made all the tougher by a depleted squad travelling to Manchester. This situation clearly plays into the hands of the Red Devils, whilst for the Tractor Boys, the clash will put the physical and mental resilience of their remaining squad members to the ultimate test. The lead-up to the match presents a tough set of challenges for Ipswich Town. Manager Gary O'Neill is left scratching his head as 3 of his players are ruled out, whilst another 2 remain doubtful for the clash. Much of the attention is focused on Florentino Lewis, as the midfielder was forced to miss the EFL Cup tie against Leicester City due to a calf injury. Although his availability for the trip to Old Trafford remains uncertain, there is a glimmer of hope. The player has returned to training and is showing encouraging progress. O'Neill hopes Florentino's recovery goes smoothly so he can rejoin full training and be named in the matchday squad. Julio Enciso was hauled off in the 71st minute against Sunderland, raising concerns over his fitness. However, medical assessments confirmed he merely suffered muscle cramps brought on by fatigue, having not yet reached peak match sharpness following pre-season. Manager Gary O'Neill was quick to brush off any lasting concerns, reassuring that starting him was essential for the team despite knowing he wasn't at 100% physically. The coaching staff are now focusing on building up the players' fitness level step by step without putting them at risk of injury. Following this update, Enciso is confirmed fit and ready to travel with Ipswich Town for the clash at Manchester United. Jadon Philogene is sidelined once again after suffering an ankle injury, coming on the back of a hamstring issue that disrupted his pre-season preparations. Manager Gary O'Neill confirmed the results of the player's medical scans, with the main focus for the medical and coaching staff now being to get Philogene physically ready for top-flight action once he makes a full recovery. O'Neill views Verlogen as a top talent with a bright future and is fully committed to helping the youngster reach his full potential. Midfielder Arza Matusua is set for a spell on the sidelines owing to a muscle injury. He had been feeling discomfort since the tail end of last season, but pushed through the pain before ultimately undergoing surgery to fix the issue once and for all. Matusua is now making good headway through his rehabilitation program and light training on the pitch alongside Ipswich Town's medical team. Manager Gary O'Neill praised the player's fantastic dedication to working hard so he can get back out on the pitch as soon as possible. While appreciating Matusua's strong commitment as he eases back into training, O'Neill emphasized that the club are prioritizing a full recovery and will not rush him back until he is completely fit. Jack Taylor is set to miss the start of the season after undergoing surgery on his knee cartilage this summer to repair a fairly significant injury. Although the midfielder has started training on the pitch again, he is not yet match fit to play competitively. The club's medical staff are working hard to support his recovery, aiming to have him back in action by early September. Manager Gary O'Neill insisted that the club will not take any chances with Taylor's recovery process. Whilst trying to get him back on the pitch as quickly as possible, caution remains the main priority. On the flip side, O'Neill also admitted that Taylor's absence leaves his central midfield options severely limited for the opening fixtures of the season. This midfield shortage forces Gary O'Neill to come up with a makeshift plan to withstand Manchester United's aggressive attack, with the hosts expected to come flying out of the traps from the opening whistle. Without Jack Taylor and Arza Matusua, and with Florentino Lewis still lacking full match fitness, the Tractor Boys are left without ideal rotation options to keep up the pace and intensity in such a critical area of the pitch. A heavy burden now rests on the shoulders of the remaining players for Sunday's match. Fiorentina have proper eyes for Joshua Zirkzee. Fiorentina have reportedly made a proper, serious move to secure the signature of Manchester United striker Joshua Zirkzee in the closing stages of this summer transfer window. The club from Florence has moved swiftly to jump ahead of Juventus, who have long held an interest in the Dutch forward. According to reports, this aggressive push was triggered by the situation in their front line, which requires fresh options following the departure of several key figures. Fiorentina's sporting director has now become the central figure behind the intensive negotiations currently taking place between the two clubs. Fiorentina's decision to pursue Joshua Zirkzee is closely linked to a major transfer plan involving Moise Kean, who is reportedly close to joining Como. The sale of Moise Kean, valued at €40 million, will provide fresh funds as well as room for La Viola to bring in a suitable replacement in attack. The sporting director immediately capitalized on this situation to push forward an official proposal to Manchester United regarding the player's transfer status. Zirkzee's arrival is viewed as an ideal solution to sharpen Fiorentina's attacking unit for the current campaign. Negotiations are currently centered on a paid loan arrangement worth around €5 million, accompanied by an option to buy in the future. However, the structure of this agreement remains a point of contention, as Manchester United are reportedly keener on including an obligation to buy permanently. The Red Devils naturally do not wish to simply let the forward go without guaranteed financial return, given their desire to trim the squad. Consequently, both parties are continuing intensive discussions to find common ground regarding the figures and the detailed transfer structure. For Fiorentina, securing Joshua Zirkzee is projected as a massive statement move in this summer window. The prospective Dutch international has gained strong momentum within the club's hierarchy after being listed as a primary target. Their long-term plan is to bring Zirkzee in on loan until June 2027, complete with various supporting clauses. The Fiorentina supporters themselves are expected to welcome the player's arrival with great enthusiasm, seeing him as someone capable of lifting the team's performances significantly. The club's management now simply needs to iron out the final details of the agreement with the decision-makers at Old Trafford. On the flip side, this swift action by Fiorentina is also aimed at pipping Juventus to the post. Juventus had indeed been monitoring Joshua Zirkzee's situation for a long time, placing him as a top priority for their attack. However, Juventus have been bogged down by their own internal processes, as they need to move on one of their existing strikers before making a formal bid. This delay from the Turin outfit has been exploited brilliantly by Fiorentina to leapfrog them in the race for the forward signature. Although Juventus hold a certain pull for the player, the ongoing delay means they may well end up empty-handed if they do not take concrete action quickly. Fiorentina are working hard to persuade Zirkzee to put his hopes of a move to Turin on the back burner and embrace the ambitious project in Florence instead. The La Viola board feel that Zirkzee possesses the modern forward profile required to elevate the team as a whole. With the promise of more regular playing time, a return to Italy represents a sensible choice for the young striker's ongoing career. Manchester United find themselves in a position where they must carefully evaluate the structure of the offers put forward by interested clubs. The Old Trafford side are reportedly unwilling to accept a simple loan proposal without a commitment to purchase at the end of the spell. Having brought Xerxes in with high expectations, the Manchester club want to ensure their investment is properly safeguarded. Ongoing talks regarding a conditional obligation to buy are currently the main topic of discussion at the negotiating table between United and Fiorentina's representatives. The player's agent is also said to be playing a role in bridging communications between the various parties caught up in this transfer saga. With the transfer deadline looming, all parties must make swift decisions for the good of the athlete's career. Xerxes himself is reported to be open to a fresh chapter in order to rediscover his sharpest form and secure his place in the Netherlands national squad. All the speculation surrounding his future is expected to reach a clear outcome in the coming days ahead of the deadline. Overall, the Joshua Xerxes transfer saga reflects the dynamic nature of the summer window, filled with intrigue and fierce competition between European clubs. Both Fiorentina and Juventus fully recognize the immense potential the striker possesses, despite his difficult spell at Old Trafford. The final decision now rests with Manchester United and the player himself to determine the most suitable destination for the next stage of his career. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comment your opinion.